Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, 2 men arrested in Yoakum Tuesday night and they face charges of theft. And 2 candidates are trying to replace Kevin McCarthy as he was ousted as Speaker Tuesday. And police in Washington, D.C. are still searching for 3 suspects after a Texas congressman was carjacked Monday night.
The cold front is on its way. The showers have begun, and while we had some activity today, the bigger stuff's going to be tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that.
Plus, a Houston woman is lucky to be alive after a metal rod hit her car's windshield on the highway. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Karina Garcia. James Munoz is on assignment. Today is an alert day, which means Chief Meteorologist Perez kicks us off.
Absolutely, Karina. Well, obviously, we saw the shower activity that came up from the Gulf and affected the city and the county. Right about now, there's Victoria. You can see we do have some shower activity to the north and moving up toward Cuero as well. Heavier stuff out there toward Edna and the Wharton area. Now, tomorrow being your Thursday, the activity is going to ramp up and get a little bit stronger. Of course, we're waiting for the cold front. Where is the cold front? It's out in West Texas, so it'll be crossing through the day on Thursday and then arriving here probably in the afternoon hours. And then by Friday, you'll feel a different weather pattern around here. It'll be cooler, it'll be breezier. Not exactly cold. It's going to be in the 80s, but then the weekend is looking pretty good as well. We'll have all your weather details coming up in just a moment. Back to you.
Thank you, Mac. Hallettsville Fire Department is on the scene of a major vehicle wreck involving an 18-wheeler and another vehicle on Highway 90 east of Sublime. Reports indicate the 18-wheeler is on fire. Now, as of last check, multiple agencies are on the scene, including the DPS and TxDOT. Authorities have asked the public to be cautious when driving near the area and be aware of responding units. Tuesday night, the Shiner Fire Department, along with several other emergency crews, responded to the scene of an explosion and fire that occurred just east of Shiner on Highway 90A, just outside the town limits. There are reports it was an oil field pipeline fire. Authorities tell us the Texas Railroad Commission was at the site investigating the fire this morning. Only minor injuries were reported. Yoakum police arrested 2 men Tuesday night in the 300 block of East Hugo. They were contacted by the Thiele Cooper Funeral Home about a theft of property. Zachary Jasper Manuel and Zachariah Martinez were taken into custody. Manuel faces charges of theft of grave, human corpse, and military markers. And Manuel is in the Lavaca County Jail in lieu of a $5,000 bond. Police in Hoke Oak, Massachusetts say multiple police were reportedly shot this afternoon. Authorities reported multiple individuals were shot, but they did not give an exact number as to how many were shot. The public was asked to avoid the area while police continue investigating. The stunning removal of Representative Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker has left the House effectively paralyzed. Republican lawmakers are now scrambling to find a new leader. The House will try to elect a Speaker as soon as next week, but the timing is nowhere near certain as Republicans line up for their chance at the gavel. The members currently in the running are Majority Leader Steve Selesky and Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Gordon, though it's unclear if either will have the 218 votes needed to secure the speakership. U.S. Congressman District 27 Michael Cloud voted against McCarthy's removal as Speaker. On Facebook Wednesday, Congressman Cloud said, quote, "It's not about personalities or popularity contests. It's about breaking the swamp. That is our mission. We have made progress, but there is so much more to do," unquote. Now, the next special session in Texas legislature starts next Monday. It's expected to include legislation on using taxpayer money to pay for private school tuition. The Texas Tribune reports Governor Greg Abbott has said he'd call lawmakers back to address a voucher plan, or what's referred to as education savings accounts. The measure, which supporters have dubbed school choice, failed to pass during the Texas legislature's regular session that ended Monday. State Senator District 18 Lois Colcourse sent us this statement on the special session. Quote, "There's $5 billion appropriated for a school finance bill. I am looking forward to working with House and Senate colleagues to pass legislation so hardworking teachers can receive a pay raise and additional funding can be provided to schools that will support educating the children of Texas," unquote. Police are continuing to look for 3 suspects after a Congressman, Henry Cuellar, was carjacked in Washington, D.C. just Monday night.
3 guys came out of nowhere and they pointed guns at me.
Texas Democrat and part-time Navy Yard resident Representative Henry Cuellar says Monday night 3 young-looking men in ski masks greeted him with guns drawn just as he pulled up to his condo.
I do have a black belt, but I recognize when you got three guns. I looked at one with a gun, another with a gun, a third one behind me. So they said they wanted my car. I said, sure, you got to keep calm in those situations.
And he needed help.
He was just in shock.
Were they armed?
Yeah.
Rochelle Harrison had just pulled up to make a delivery at the congressman's building when she says she saw the carjackers make their move.
And just rushed him. And next thing I know, he came up. He was like, "Can I use your phone? Someone called 911. I just been robbed for my car." So we stood there with him while he called the police.
Within 2 hours, the congressman says police recovered his car, his phone, and even his leftovers. They are still searching for the attackers.
We have a friend of ours that was just robbed at gunpoint.
What people who live here hope they can get back is the sense of safety built up over the past several years. Steve Sowers lives in the same building as the congressman.
It's just sad what's happened to this city. You know, we lived here in the 80s. It just seems to be going back. Got to put the bars back on the windows, and I just don't want to see that.
So after that delivery, I went home. I said, that's enough for me.
The day after the carjacking, Rochelle was reluctantly back at the building for another delivery.
Do you feel safe making deliveries?
No, not to be honest. That's why when I saw this delivery, I was like, I don't want to take it.
DC's police crime data reports show carjackings went up 108% this year compared to last year. Now, a Houston area woman got a big scare recently when a 9-inch piece of rod came flying through her windshield as she was driving down the highway. She was driving down the interstate to the airport when it happened. The heavy metal rod came out of nowhere and hit her windshield. She's grateful the drive didn't turn deadly, but this was the second time she experienced flying debris on a highway. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. In Calhoun County, Alex Anthony Cardenas was convicted of sexual assault of a child on Tuesday and was sentenced to 40 years in prison. TxDOT reported 166 crashes within Port Lavaca and 274 crashes in Calhoun County. Plus, Calhoun County Airport is celebrating their 6th annual fly-in event this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can read these stories and more at theportlavacawave.com. And Shiner Police Chief Kevin Kelso resigned this week after close to 2 years on the job. The Shiner Gazette reports the Shiner City Council named former Lavaca County Precinct 3 Justice of the Peace Wayne Denson as interim police chief. Kelso, a interim police chief in Beeville, was the Seguin police chief for a decade. Before that, Kelso spent 22 years with the Victoria Police Department. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. For now, stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. Baltimore authorities are investigating a campus shooting at Morgan State University that left 5 people hurt. Also ahead, medical workers have begun their strike this morning, becoming the largest healthcare worker strike in U.S. history. 5 people were shot on the campus of Morgan State University in Baltimore Tuesday. Police say 4 of the 5 victims were students ranging from 18 to 22 years of age. Their injuries are all non-life-threatening. University leaders reported the shooting happened during the school's homecoming week celebrations. Police did not say how many people are suspected in the shooting, but no confirmed arrests were made. It's unclear exactly what led to the shooting.
We didn't open the campus up until our SWAT team had cleared the building where we thought the suspect may have ran or where we thought the shot came from. They cleared every single floor twice. And after that, we realized the campus was most likely safe, and we opened it back up because the shooter was nowhere around that we could find.
A shelter-in-place order was lifted earlier today after a SWAT team searched the area where police believe the shots were fired. Wednesday classes at the university were canceled. Morgan State is a HBCU with about 9,000 students. President Biden has canceled another $9 billion in student loan debt. This comes just days after payments resumed after a 3-year COVID pause. The White House says it's conducting fixes to a broken student loan system. After an audit, it was able to use existing debt relief programs to help 125,000 borrowers, totaling the $9 billion. The White House has canceled $127 billion of debt for nearly 3.6 million borrowers. So here is your beer poll this afternoon. You can scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote. The question is your student loan payment higher or lower than the average being $300? These results have less than $300, more than $300, or I don't have student loans, or you paid them back already. We want to hear from you on this. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we're going to have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Now, encouraging children to be more active can be a struggle, but with video games, TV, and other devices, some children may not be motivated to get enough physical activity every day.
60 minutes every day. That's how much physical activity is recommended for kids and teens between the ages of 6 and 17. It may seem like a lot, but it doesn't have to be all at once.
We know kids do better in school, they sleep better, their mood's better, and it can just be a lot of fun to move.
Dr. Adam Keating with Cleveland Clinic says some kids may be motivated to move through sports, but others may need a little help. His first tip, to remember there are different ways to keep kids active.
Everything from going on a family walk to walking the dog to vacuuming to having a dance party in the middle of your living room.
Playing on a playground or PE at school also counts as physical activity time. Keating says it's also important to be a good role model.
Kids want to spend time with their parents, whether they say so or not. And so being a good example and joining in the activity with the kids generally makes it much more rewarding for everybody.
While it's important to limit screens, Keating says offer that screen time as a reward for physical activity.
The child can earn another 30 minutes of screen time by doing 30 minutes of activity.
Finally, find activities they enjoy. It can be a variety of things so the child doesn't get bored.
Making it fun rather than a chore and finding different creative ways to be able to work some physical activity in the day can be helpful.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
More than 75,000 healthcare workers are walking off the job this morning in the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history. Unionized healthcare workers have failed to negotiate new contracts with their companies. Unionized staff are asking for increased pay, job protections, and solutions to fix labor shortages. The strike is only temporary. Workers will return to work October 7th. And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Quail Record. The Chisholm Heritage Museum hosts Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson for a book signing and luncheon. And the Ring of Fire will be visible in DeWitt County Saturday, October 14th. You can read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. 87 degrees right about now. We actually got some pretty nice showers sort of roll through the region. We got up to 93 this afternoon. And but you know, that could be the end of it. Yeah. Now the rain's coming in, and the cold front is on its way, and by the time you get to Saturday, it'll be much better. There's Victoria right about there. Heaviest stuff is actually out to the east of us. There are some showers to the west as well. So stay tuned. We'll have all the big cold front news coming up in just a moment. We have a lot of weather to talk about. First of all, the shower activity, which was fairly nice because it wasn't severe or not too heavy. I mean, we had some pretty good rain here on Navarro Street earlier today. At this hour of the night, a lot of it is decreasing in intensity. Of course, this pops with the afternoon heating, and then once the sun begins to go down, it thins out. But we've got a lot of tropical moisture out here, and that's going to continue moving onshore. And then when it collides with the frontal system, which that's tomorrow, that's when it's going to get pretty interesting. The frontal system is right about here. You can almost outline it by where the thunderstorms are. West Texas is under the gun for severe weather tonight. They could have, well, obviously thunder and lightning, but they could have some hail, big hail, strong gusty winds and possible tornadoes, but this is a severe thunderstorm watch, not so much a tornado watch. The heavy stuff now rolling up to northeast Texas, and all these counties in yellow are under the severe thunderstorm watch. When you see the orange one pop, that's when they've got a severe thunderstorm that's actually on the ground. Now here's the rainfall total that we had. There's Victoria right about there. You can see the scale here. Green is up to an inch. If it's blue, it's 2 inches. If it's purple, it's 3 inches, and then on down the line. So some areas to the north and even Edna got some probably 1 to 2 inch rain, and up to 3 inch rain up here northwest up toward the Wharton area, but generally out to the Houston area or suburbs. But generally rains pretty much all over the southeast, and then of course out in the west where the big stuff is happening tonight. So what's our timeline? Here we go. Future tracker, we start at 5 o'clock today. By tonight, it starts rolling in heavy weather through Dallas. By the time we get to Thursday morning, it'll start pushing into the hill country, maybe even San Antonio, Austin, with the heaviest stuff in the Houston area. Then the frontal system rolls into our area Thursday late. I had thought it was going to come in like after midnight Thursday, but it may be even as early as sundown, so 6 p.m. The front will come through, and that's when we'll have some pretty heavy afternoon showers. And then by midnight, then it does pass our area. We'll go to a more cloudy, rainy kind of pattern, not the big stuff, not the severe stuff. And then by Friday morning, we're staying on the cloudy side, and most of that rain will have, the heavy stuff will have ended. So I'm optimistic that by evening, Friday evening, we should be in better shape. Tonight, the severe weather is up there. Tomorrow, we have no severe weather expectation, just general garden variety thunder showers around the area. So that's an improving thing. 86 is the forecast high for tomorrow. Maybe we'll say goodbye to the 90s finally. While far west Texas will be in the low to 80s and a couple of 70s there. Here's our front. This is tonight. We expect it to roll through the area. And then the interesting part is that while this may not be very, very cold, this up here is cooler air that will drift down into our area by the time we get to the weekend, and all that finally passes the area. High pressure generally means, you know, clear weather, but the frontal systems are sort of hanging up right there along the immediate coastline. So we may stay in the cloudy, damp side as we get into Sunday and Monday. So it's not, you know, going to go completely blue and beautiful. So stay tuned. We'll be certainly watching it for you here. 82 tomorrow in Port Lavaca. Boy, that sounds good. And only 84 in Cuero. Can you imagine? So the front comes in Friday, clearing up, and then better for Saturday, Sunday. It's not going to be clear and blue, but it will be in the 70s. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody, we do have the QR code. We want you to scan that and put that on your phone. Karina, back to you.
Mac, thank you. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, a new report shows that cities built in high-risk flood areas have soared. We have this story straight ahead. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 128 points, the S&P 500 up 34 points, and the Nasdaq up 176 points. Oil down $5.01, closing at $84.22 a barrel. A recent study shows more cities are being built in high flood risk areas. The report says from 1985, settlements in flood-prone areas increased by 122%. Researchers looked at data and found that as the world's settlement grew by 85%, urbanization happened much faster in high-hazard flood zones. Stay with us. We're going to take one last look at your forecast. Plus, 3 scientists have won the Nobel Prize for their discovery in the tiny building blocks of nanotechnology. Plus, here's a look at world news tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Coming up tonight, breaking news in New York City, the manhunt after police say the chilling, unprovoked murder at a bus stop. You'll see the surveillance, the victim with his girlfriend. He was well known. Also, a mass shooting outside a homecoming event, the search there, and the chaos on the Hill. Who now wants to be speaker next?
scientists have won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for their work on quantum dots. They're used in LED lights, TV screens, and can even help guide surgeons as they remove cancer tissue. These scientists were honored today for their work with the tiny particles. The suspense surrounding the announcement took an unusual turn when Swedish media reported the names of the winners several hours early. And get cozy this year with First United Methodist Church in Victoria, who is hosting a pumpkin patch. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook, Crossroads Today as well. Alrighty, have you gone to any pumpkin patches?
Not yet, but it's looking good out there with pumpkins sprouting out wherever you go.
Not today though, right?
Huh?
Not today though, because it's raining.
Well, not today, but you know, certainly it's going to start feeling more like autumn weather. You can get into the holiday season pretty soon. The frontal system will come in tomorrow afternoon late, probably around sundown, with increasing thunder showers for tomorrow. So it's a pretty wet day on Thursday. The frontal system passes, and then on Friday we'll have rain in the morning, decreasing during the day, and I'm hoping that it's okay for, let me put it this way. It's going to be light, cloudy, cool rain on Friday night. I don't expect any severe weather by that time, so I think if you take your rain gear, you'll be okay to be in the stands for football Friday night. Otherwise, the weekend is looking very nice, only in the 70s. And we haven't seen that since when? When the last time you saw 70-degree temperatures?
I can't remember what that
as a high
feels
temperature.
like. So it's been some
So
time.
an alert day for tomorrow, because the heavier rain will roll in tomorrow, especially with that in the afternoon with that frontal passage. And then it goes to light, windy, and cooler weather on Friday. You know, I wish I could tell you it's just going to be clear and blue and fall crisp, but it's not, because the cloud deck is going to be hanging with us Sunday, Monday, Tuesday because of the overcast. But that's okay.
But hey,
it's at least going to feel better.
Yeah, 76. Can't complain.
Can't complain about that one.
That's right. Well, thank you, Mac, and thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.